let us look at the patch together. See what they changed for 7.33D. Can I see that stuff? Clickety clack. They made Eternal Shroud slightly cheaper and slightly better. I mean, it was already a decent item after the rework on a few heroes. So I guess it's just better on those heroes, which is like Bristleback, Leshrac. What other hero can use all of its mana and also tank? I don't know, those are the two that come to mind. Might be a few other fringe cases. It's probably okay. It's like 30... No, they didn't increase the magic resist, but the magic resist is 30%. That's quite significant. I think it's the highest on your own. Let's see if Pipe gives more in total. Pipe gives the same. So actually getting Pipe now is worse than the Shroud. Except for the magic barrier, obviously. But damn. And the Eternal Shroud is also slightly cheaper. But it doesn't... Oh, it does use Ring of Health, actually. Wow, okay. Because before, you'd kind of just get the Pipe of Insight on any hero that didn't care about the mana regeneration aspect of the Eternal Shroud. But now maybe... if it's not a super good Pipe game, or some support's already picking up the Pipe, or you're not an offlaner, you can definitely consider the Eternal Shroud. That's interesting. But probably just still only good on like Leshrac, Bristle type heroes. They changed Octarine Core. Not super surprised. I think it's 2 Voidstones now, or no? New Voidstone. Yeah, double Voidstone, Soul Booster, and a small recipe. Instead of the Perseverance. They really hate Perseverance. They introduced the Cornucopia, and now they're just throwing Perseverance out of almost every item. It was pretty strong, the Vanguard Mana Boots into Octarine, because you could use every component, which is pretty sick. It's still pretty decent for the Bloodstone, of course. But Vanguard has just been nerfed real bad. Axe Enjoyers cry. They just keep nerfing this Vanguard Ring of Health. It's kind of interesting how prominent / dominant it has been. Okay, that's everything for the items. Not too surprising. The Vanguard meta, I felt like we saw it more in 3.3b and not so much in 3.3c anymore. But Vanguard on every hero was a thing for a couple weeks. Yeah, I didn't really expect to see any other items anyways. Going into the hero changes. No neutral items, by the way. That's kind of weird, because I feel like it's still like the same 3-4 neutral items for every tier that we see. So maybe it's down here, but I feel like neutral items could have had some, could do some tweaking. But yeah, if you're a Vanguard offlaner, you... Rip and pepperoni. Abaddon, base attack speed... almost a 75% decrease, or almost a 25% nerf. That's pretty significant. It's basically a 30% nerf, right? 12, 12, 12. That's... what the hell? I guess Abaddon attacked too fast for being in a universal hero, let's just talk about that right away. So the whole thing with universal heroes is that they're very good at getting damage whilst also getting really tanky. Now that used to be a strength hero only type thing. But the point of strength heroes is that they have very low armor gain usually because they usually get low agi gain, and also they need to buy strength items to get that attack and beefiness, so they're probably also not buying attack speed, which is, basically everything agi is something a strength hero won't have. And the other way around, most agi heroes usually have a little bit less HP, but they'll have a lot of attack speed and armor, so if they buy some HP, which could be strength, then they got the full package, right? But that means they can't go full agi items for the damage. With universal heroes, that's kind of not how it works. So every hero that got changed to a universal hero, we're basically now kind of seeing the growing pains, where some heroes, as strength heroes, were just not designed to be able to buy the other attributes without losing a bunch of damage for it. And now suddenly they can. And maybe some heroes, I don't know on the top of my head, but I'm looking at Abaddon, who used to be a strength hero, if I recall correctly. Some heroes just have innate stuff, like abilities that makes them attack really fast or whatever, that abuses the fact that they can now buy all stats and still have a lot of damage and then also be tanky very well. But they didn't adjust the heroes for that, like the skills, aside from their base stats usually. So they changed like their starting stats, they lowered that a bunch. They lowered the base attack of most heroes to kind of get them in line at level 1. But they mostly just kind of didn't touch all of the spells and the passives and the talents even. So now we're kind of experiencing those growing pains of which heroes should have had some adjustments in other areas other than just their stats to not be completely bonkers. We've already seen some Twitter beef or, well, just some whiny pro players basically calling for just remove it. I saw like a tweet from Quinn, I think. He was like, this is god awful, worst thing that ever happened. Just delete it. We can. Oh, that was Skeeter as well. He was like, we can still pretend it never happened. Just delete it. So it's kind of. It's interesting. Because it is kind of a polarizing ish mechanic right now. Because there's just a bunch of upsides to being a universal hero right now, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of downsides. Like, I was planning to do a video as well on underrated items, and one of them I think is Vlad's, because Vlad's gives you base attack damage. I think it's like 18% or something stupid. 18% bonus damage, right? And that's on your stats. So if you built that together with heroes that are universal and are building stats, they're going to have a lot of extra damage from that one aura. And they already have crazy damage. So I think that aura in particular, like the universal heroes that build Vlads, like Lycanthrope and Beastmaster, are crazy good. I don't know if they made Visage universal, but nevertheless, I think Vlad is really good on the universal heroes, and I think most of the changes that we're going to see is to tune back or tune down some of the universal heroes that just abuse all the juicy all-stat items. I think in a bigger patch or a later patch, we might even see a bunch of items reworked to make sure that there's no like Rod of Atos items that are just like easy, free, cheap stats for these universal heroes. But yeah, looking at Abaddon, it's a big base attack speed nerf. Apothic Shield nerf. Aghanim Shard, basic slow nerf, damn. Strength nerf, talent nerf. Damn, they just fucking nuked this guy. We didn't even see him that much at the Dream League at least, and well, at the Burnham Major or DPC as well. Yeah, I do feel it's underrated. I think we just need to find the right heroes to carry it, and it's gonna be really good. But Abaddon is completely nerfed. Like, he's very good at building Echo Saber, Manta, maybe Radiance, and just having a bunch of stats and hitting people with those stats. Especially because Manta is incredibly good on him because of Curse of Avernus applies from your illusions. Abaddon was just really good at abusing the fact that he is a universal hero. Sadly, we didn't see him that much at Dream League or the DPC, or at least I didn't see it that much. But I saw him a little bit in my pubs, and he felt strong. So, I mean, it feels like he got smacked for no reason, but I feel like all the Universal Heroes are probably gonna get hit at some point. I already saw Brood Game in Dream League just now. I'm hoping she didn't get buffed, but that it's just that she's the next in line of the good Universal Heroes, but we'll see. Arc Warden, Tempest double cooldown increased. Thank God. Stupid Arc Warden. I don't like this hero. It's only fun when she's on your team. Batrider, sticky napalm damage decreased. And then also the Flame Break slow. Okay, that's nice that it's not a 1-point wonder for the slow anymore. Although we haven't been seeing Batriders play for sticky napalm anyway, so this is kind of, I don't know, feels a bit late. Beastmaster Wild Axe nerf. That is kind of annoying because my Beastmaster needs his axes. Vision, I mean, Beastmaster has just been getting first picked almost every game. It's such a good hero. It's a universal hero. He can build whatever. He can build for himself with the Drums of Slum. He can still just go for the Helm Dom 2. He can just build the auras. He can do the axe build. He can do the boar build. He can stack his own ancients, and there's 2 ancient caps. So, like, this hero is super reliable and just straight up good, which, you know, in competitive, that's great. So, these are mild nerfs, I would say. Oh my god, dude, no, bruh. Bruh. Yeah. I personally do not enjoy Tinker either. Goddamn Tinker spammers. They nerfed Bloodrite. I think that's... Like, I just recorded my Bloodseeker guide. I just edited all the audio. And basically, I talk about Bloodrite, and I'm like, it's a super good level 1 skill, but getting the next levels might be worth it. And now I would even say, don't get Bloodrite after level 1. Like, you get it level 1 to fight for the runes and for the range creeps, and a big thing about Bloodseeker would be Bloodrite level 1 doing 120 damage, pure. That's really good. So it used to be a super good 1-point wonder, and now they made it 90. So it's kind of like, ugh. Like, bruh, I know Bloodseeker's really good, but this is such a weird nerf. I don't know. We've been seeing Bloodseeker a lot, so I guess he needed some nerf. This is just, in my eyes, kind of a weird nerf, but he'll survive. His laning is still great. Don't take a second point in Bloodrite ever, please. Bounty Hunter, base strength decrease, stun decrease. We did see a fair bit of Bounty. Bounty's pretty good. He's kind of like a new Ricky 4. But Bloodseeker counters all the offlaners you play. Beast, Tide, and Timber. Don't know how to feel about the nerf. I mean, you'll only feel it a little bit early on when he's trying to contest the range creep with Bloodright. Like, if it's a position 1 Bloodseeker, he's never skilling Bloodright after level 1. So you'll just take 30 less damage than before. So that's 25% less. So that's pretty good. Broodmother. Small buff to the spin web, and the silken bola damage slightly increased. Okay, so basically she was next in line. After now, I don't know if Magnus is nerfed, but let's say Void Spirit, Magnus, Abaddon, Wind Ranger. If those are all like nerfed, then Broodmother might be next in line. She's still Broodmother, and she's universal. Like, I'm not surprised we're seeing her being abused. I'm surprised we are just now seeing it. I was expecting it a lot earlier. Clinks. Russian attacks. Oh, really? What? That was funny. Hits the kill from 3 to 2, so it's just Clink's nerfs across the board. I think Clink's still pretty good. I think I saw a position 1 Clink's game today. He's just pretty good. I think these are just small adjustments because his win rate was slightly high. I think he's just still good. The mana cost nerf is probably pretty hefty on the Tar Bomb early. That's about it. And his Skeleton Archers might be fair now. Crystal Maiden base mana regen decreased from 1 to 0.5. What's with the Maiden nerfs? They back on the meme train. Yeah. I don't know, she might have to buy like 1 or 2 more clarities now. I mean, you missed that the entirety of the game, so I guess it's a pretty sizable nerf. Lycan buffs? Ooh, don't spoil me. I haven't seen it yet. So Disruptor base damage decreased by 2? That's a pretty big nerf because he has long range and he's really annoying when he's right-clicking you. Strike damage rescaled from 30... Holy hell, they also nerfed his Q? This is like the most tone-deaf nerf, I feel like. All Disruptors are just going glimpse nowadays, right? I guess... Huh? Like, you could do Thunderstrike so that you kept vision and then use your base damage to, like, and range to snipe people from afar. Especially if you were faster than them as Disruptor. And then the glimpse back would be even worse. I guess this is kind of... What I'm thinking is that you still go glimpse, and people were going 1 point in Thunderstrike maybe, and then using the vision that Thunderstrike gives to harass consistently. And the 35, like 1 point wonder together with the right clicks was just a bit too much damage. That's what I'm guessing, and so they nerfed it. We've been seeing a healthy amount of Disruptor in Dream League so far, and DPC, I think, so just a slight adjustment. Base armor decreased for Doom. I think that's good. Doom has been really good for a long time now. Bonus gold rescaled. Okay, so it's a little bit better early. So getting that level 1 Devour pays off a little bit more. And then later in the game, it's worse. Basically from level 2 to 3 onward, it's just worse. Scorched Earth, small nerf. Ooh, double nerf to the Scorched Earth. They think he's too fast. Which I think I can agree on. Like, he would just run away from you. So, Doom nerfs. I guess he's probably still good, but... like, a little bit less forgiving. You can still do crazy shit on him. He still has this... well... farm steroid that is Devour. If he still goes Midas, it's just... he's still crazy good. Malefice buff, so a small Enigma buff. 33 will be happy with that. I don't really care for Enigma. Gyrocopter, missile 2 damage increased. Nice. 50 damage, boys. I guess that's significant-ish on the first level, like level 6 gyro. That's about it. I mean, over the game, I guess you ult like 5 to 8 times. So, you know, there's a couple hundred damage. Recall delay increased. Keeper of the Light was pretty good. This is a small adjustment. Nothing huge. Base damage decreased on Legion. Damn. That's not a universal hero. Chill. Bonus attack speed. Nerf as well. Okay. So overwhelming odds was a little bit too good. I mean, it did feel pretty good being able to use it in Ultimate. Leshrac. He was buffed, I believe. Radius increased. That's nice. From level 2 onwards. Aghanim Shard increased, decreased. So it's more innate. And at level 4, it's slightly bigger. Diabolic Edict cooldown. This is nice quality of life. Lightning Storm increased 20 damage flat. That is nice because is gyro support viable again, or are you being delusional? I think it's still good. I didn't think they nerfed it too much, right? Or am I crazy? I haven't seen it for a while, and I'm not sure if that was because they nerfed Rocket Barrage. Basically, they haven't changed it back, so if it was trash the last couple patches, it's probably still not super good right now. But if Rocket Barrage still does a bunch of damage, then... Or what is it? Like the... I think it's Rocket Barrage. This Q. Nihilism, Radius... So it's all like nice Leshrac buffs. I think the Lightning Storm is pretty big. It's 4-second cooldown, so your DPS is pretty high. Or a lot higher with it. Base movement decreased on Lich. That's annoying for the supports that like Lich. Lina, I saw her in like 2 games, I think. Like Aster versus 9 Pandas, I think they played Lina. It looked okay. Aghanim Shard spell damage per stack. That's pretty sick. So spell damage Lina seems more of a thing again. Probably only from the middle. Right click Lina is probably still... I mean, last time I called it not dead, but just not super good. But we haven't seen it at all. I think I've seen it once in my pubs, and everybody was flaming the Lina one. And we didn't win, so... Spike Radius, so it's slightly further. That's a nice buff for Lion. Cast range increased, so Lion buffs. Lycan buff, and a Lycan buff. So I think we already saw a little bit of Lycan. We might see more Lycan, especially because Vlad's is sick. Base agility decreased from 15 to 9. Magnus, my boy, rip in pepperonis. There's a lot of base attack as well, right? It's like 0.7 times 6. It's like 4 damage. Like that's basically 4 base damage just gone on Magnus. That's bonus effect on self-cast decreased from 75 to 50%. Damn. Damn. What? Empower is like the whole identity of this hero, and they just nerfed his bonus effect for 33%. They gutted him. Oh my god. I hope all the Magnus enjoyers played a lot of Magnus for the last 3 patches, because it's over. We have to wait for like Collapse to resurrect him again. Rip in pepperonis, Magnus. It's all over. Marcy, another universal hero. They nerfed her Stat gain. Her scepter was really good. And they nerfed her scepter. So Marcy 1, I didn't see a lot, but it was good, and they nerfed it. Mystic Snake is nerfed again. They keep buffing and nerfing this Mystic Snake spell every couple patches, I feel like. Mana Shield Illusions now have reduced damage absorption. That sounds really nice. Thank you. So it's about half? Oh, it isn't half. It's like a different... Whatever. Illusions gain 0.7 damage per mana from the level 25 talent and stuff. 1. Blah, blah, blah. Stone Gaze duration decreased. Ah, okay. So early she's definitely a lot weaker. And her illusions are perhaps killable. So, oh, Stone Gaze got double nerfed actually, because the talent also got nerfed. That makes Medusa 3 a lot worse, I feel like, because she kind of relied on the Stone Gaze more, like adding that to the to team fights of your team. Everybody felt like collapse 7.33C. Fair. I mean, the whole Harpoon Magnus is still good because of the displacement. So I think it's not unfair to give him a bit more, like, take him to the shed a little bit more. Because displacement, as we've seen it at TI-10, is just sick. And he now has Harpoon. He can blink. He can horn toss. He can RP. Everything to get his skewer off and just pull you into his team and kill you. So I don't feel too bad for him, even though, you know, he's not a first pick every game hero anymore. Base attack speed from Mirana nerfed, also a universal hero. Max stun duration decreased at the early levels. So it's less good as only one if you only take 1 point, which I think it was pretty popular right now to go Q and leap with only 1 point in Sacred Arrow. But I don't play Mirana, so don't quote me on that. Stun duration further decreased on Monkey King. Damn! An actual non-universal hero getting a very small nerf. A Crystallis only nerf. Jingu Mastery also nerfed? Damn. I feel like we only saw Monkey King this much because of the whole Vanguard meta. And Monkey King being really good at that, just destroying lanes. And also he's good against Bloodseeker, I think, which is a hero we saw a lot. Nature's Prophet attack range from 600 to 620. I mean, that's a nice to have, I guess, after they demolished Nature's Prophet in the previous patch. Nature's Call mana cost is down, the cooldown is slightly lower, DPS per tree is increased. I mean, he's probably still kind of meh. You think so with the 20 more attack range? I don't think he'll be back as a 1, but he's still decent as a 3, I would say. He's just very good at getting farm, regardless of the game state, basically. And he can always join. So, like, you might not want him to be that important, so you don't want to put him in position 1. He's not OP enough to be position 2, so you're probably going to put him position 3, so he can have a decent lane, and then he'll just always +1 any move that you make. So the mid plus like your 4 or 5 makes a move, boom, you teleport in. That's just always going to be good. And these are just nice to haves, especially the Nature's Call, giving you a little bit more split push, which is nice with this big ass map. I guess I should say ghost push because you don't have to actually do the pushing yourself. Mind Flare, sure, a small a nerf. Holy moly. Gaben, please. My boy Pangolier, no! Stop! This is not okay. They decreased his movement speed even further. Or I don't know if it's further. They decreased the dash range on Swashbuckle even more. So I think before it used to be just 850 always. Then they rescaled it to 550 to 850, and now they rescaled it again to 400 to 850. So, like, especially off-lane Pango is kind of sad, because as off-lane Pango, you would have lanes where you needed to go one Swashbuckle, and then like 4 or 3 levels in Shield Crash to play that lane. And then you have the Swashbuckle as your kind of like get out of free jail option. Yeah, just your escape, right? But now I guess you need to just all in on Swash every lane always. It's not really up for debate anymore. You just need the range on Swashbuckle to get away from stuff versus most heroes, especially with the lower movement speed. Like, you're just not getting away anymore as Pango if you don't have Swashbuckle at a high level. They also nerfed the Swash damage on 20. They nerfed the cooldown reduction a bit. And also the cooldown reduction on Swash, 25. So just more Pango nerfs. I think they just really don't want to see this hero anymore. He's a universal hero. Phantom Lancer. Okay, we saw this boy a lot at the start of 7.33. But he's kind of fallen off, even though I think he's still pretty good. So, Aghanim Scepter illusion damage decreased. So these are nerfs, I guess. Illusion damage decreased, yes. 8 strength, that's pretty good. 8 strength is pretty good. And then the 15 strength, okay, so... Okay, that's... I think this is a net nerf, because you'd rather just have more stats later and have a bigger, like, be better in the late game. But I guess early on now he can fight a little bit more because the 8 strength will feel nice at level 10. What's up, guys? Primal Beast, Pulverize. Okay, that's cool. It's a cool change. Ally drain heal per second. Okay, that's just a nerf to support Pugna, but I still saw it in the Dream League today. So, I don't know, it's probably still okay, but it just takes a little bit longer. So you're a bit more vulnerable doing it. Aw, shit. Let's go. Razor buffs. My boy Razor got buffed. Queen of Pain nerf. 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 Okay, Queen of Pain got nerfed. I feel like we didn't see Queen of Pain that much. Or we haven't been seeing her for that long. I was actually quite happy to see Queen of Pain played again a bit. Because I think it wasn't that long ago where like Bad Rider was good. And they picked Queen of Pain into Bad Rider, which was supposedly like a hard counter. And she still got wrecked. Like consistently wrecked. So I thought it was nice to have this Queen of Pain be like a decent hero again, but they're not making it easy for the Queen of Pain mains. So thank you, Gaiman, Razor buffs. Please give me the old shard back, thank you. Silencer Arcane Curse nerf. Yes, a nerf. I mean, oh, that's pretty big nerf actually. Look at this. Q level 2 now gives what level 1 used to give. Like, Arcane Curse was really good. I mean, Silencer's still good because Global's good, but his laning stage might be kind of rough now. Because you're just a full level behind on Arcane Curse forever. Shrapnel radius increases, actually. Wow, okay, that's a small sniper buff, but still, I don't think you care. A base armor decrease on Spearbreaker. I think he's still a strength hero, so that's pretty impactful. Same with Doom. Like 1 armor, that's rough. Cooldown increased on his Charge of Darkness. Yup. Aghanim's cooldown increased from 7 to 8. Yeah, so basically they gave him some small nerfs because his consistent charging into your face and owning you was really annoying. I think he's probably still pretty good, but his laning is going to be more rough because of this one armor. So you can't really force the Spearbreaker 3 as much anymore, I feel like. He's a bit worse as a 4 as well now. So that's rough, but probably still fine if you have a decent support that can back you up. You can still do the fun stuff. Base attack speed decreased on techies. Universal hero. That's quite a... not a super big nerf, but at level 4, it's 40 damage per sticky bomb, which is basically what you're spamming all game. So I'm guessing you're going to be missing quite a bit of damage. In overall damage output from techies, so... we might see him a bit less now. And also the blast off was nerfed, so... I would like to say we'll see him less. Because all of this seems like decent nerfs combined. Like, you'll definitely start looking for more OP heroes, but I think if Techie's been working out for you, it's still fine to play it. The spell amp decreased for Timbersaw, that's it. Okay, this hero's been getting first phased almost every game. That is... okay. So, Timbersaw's fine, guys. Timbersaw's fine. Amar is gonna win the Bali Major, baby. We're gonna see it. The Spearbreaker enjoys sending you to the Isekai worlds. Man, I haven't watched enough anime recently to have a clever retort for that. Small tiny buff, that's nice. I like tiny offlane, even though it isn't that good. But is that Tusk buff? I think that's good. We haven't seen a lot of Tusk 4. I did enjoy that a lot. Oh, the Venom nerf is pretty rough. The initial Noxious Plague damage from... it's a 50 flat nerf, but I feel like it was pretty good. As a Veno, it felt like if you can just throw all of your stuff on that one guy, you got him. You know, he's probably dying. And since this is also applied to the like explosion of Noxious Plague, so you throw it on somebody and it does 200 damage, or now it does 150 damage, and then everybody around it that gets hit by the explosion gets hit by 150 damage instead of 200. So that can add up to like a 250 damage nerf per fight or per use of Noxious Plague. So that's pretty big. I think Venom is still super good though. Like, he's a universal hero, and he's ranged, and he was already good at laning. Like, you just build a bracer or two in lane, and you just pew pew pew. He's really good. Like, we're gonna play him today in the off lane because he's good. Void Spirit, base strength decreased, strength gain in the dumpster, intelligence gain. Oh my god. Okay, that's not a lot. Mana increased, step nerf, resonant pulse. I don't know what that means. So Void Spirit got nerfed. The intelligence gain seems seems like the most crazy. Like, he's just gonna miss a lot of free stats basically because of these two strength and int gain nerfs. So that's like 0.2, and this is 0.8. So it's like a 0.1 stat increase per level that he's missing. So it's like 0.7 damage per level that he doesn't get. And he also has less starting damage. So, I mean, that will add up over the game, right? Wind Ranger. Base attack speed decreased. I don't think that matters too much, but strength gain decreased. Oof, that is rough. The scepter damage taken reduction, decent nerf. Damage reduction increased. Ooh. Okay. Focus fire damage reduction decrease. Okay. So basically using stats to beef up your focus fire is now less good. So in comparison, using javelins, maelstrom, monkey, what's the thing? It's MKB? Monkey King Bar? Instead of BKB? Yeah, Monkey King Bar. Those things to, and what's the level 4 neutral item? Whatever, like anything that gives you damage on procs instead of stats is now slightly better comparatively on Wind Ranger again. So it's obviously a nerf, but I think middle you can probably still play her, and then go for the more old school routes where you're probably you can still kind of like go for some stat items. You kind of need them now because you don't have your strength gain. But for big damage, you want to get that Maelstrom early enough, and then maybe the Monkey King Bar as well. Base strength decreased on Winter Wyvern, a universal hero, by the way. Base damage also decreased, and base attack speed decreased. Damn, Winter Wyvern's laning has been wrecked. So she basically lost like 3.5 damage at level 1, and she also has got a 10% attack speed nerf. So that's pretty rough. And lastly, we have Zeus, Thunderbird God's Wrath, got a 25 damage buff and a 50 damage buff. Okay, so just small buff to Thunder God's Wrath. I mean, that's nice. Zeus players enjoy. So that's the 7.33D patch. It's just small adjustments. They dumpstered Abaddon. Who else did they dumpster? I think the Doom nerf was pretty significant. Legion feels bad, man. Lena magic build, maybe. Lycan's good. Magnus got kind of wrecked. Marcy Medusa, wah. Pangolier Sag. Razor Pog. Timbersaw still fucking amazing. Venom still good. Void Spirit probably really, really sad. Wind Ranger probably needs a different build. That's about it. It's small changes. So you probably want to do the stuff you've been doing before, see if it still works, see what the other people are doing, and make slight adjustments. Just keep exploring. The stuff that you'll see in your pubs and in the game, in the pro games, is probably just all of the universal heroes that you didn't see before, because those were probably untouched and are probably really good now. So yeah, enjoy the new patch, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Cheers.